What's up, everybody? Another episode of graphic content. This is episode 9. We're about to hit 10, Chris. Damn.
Yep.
And we had a break, so we actually would have been like on 11.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about this. I'm more excited about the guest we have who's hanging out with us. I haven't hung out with this guy in a while, man. So I'm just gonna bring him in. People, you guys know him from a lot of shows with Tony Sanders. He used to go with Bro Talk. He used to do. He's the ex/beat up commissioner for the Hunt. But he will return and reclaim his throne once the time is right. None other than Jeffery Komikhan. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see you tonight. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yes, sir. So we were talking backstage, literally talked about all the stuff we were going to talk about on the show. But it was funny though. I hope everybody's doing well. Please thumbs up, man. Share it out. Do appreciate everybody that comes through and that come through the channel and chat with us. So, and maybe in the future we're gonna try to set this up because I know people know how to do it. As far as stream on 2 channels, because we got to get it streamed on Chris's channel as well, so we can do that dual streaming. You're on mute too, Chris. We got to do
Simulcast.
Yeah, we got to do the simulcast. We got to talk to Puff. Puff does it on his channel with when he does the Comic Crew.
Comic Hall Crew, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think every single one of them has a simulcast at the same time. So it's like they're pros at it.
Yeah, I know they're good at it. So, but yeah, man, Jeffrey, how's it been, man? How's it been going, man? I saw you picked up a few things in the chat. We ain't gonna tell people what you picked. You slid in the tent. I mean, you know what? I just want to buy something. So, how's it been going?
Good, man. Good. Just been working mostly. That's about it, really. I haven't been able to be on the hunt because I'm working every Friday now. Miss you guys. Miss seeing everybody on there. I went out. Today's probably the coolest day in a while, but it's supposed to be heating back up tomorrow.
Jeffrey would send us in a group chat that we're in. Jeffrey would just send us a picture of his review mirror.
110, 115.
I think at one point it got to 119. That was the hottest it was.
Yeah, I think it was 122 or something like that. But yeah, no.
But y'all don't have really humidity, correct?
Nah, like zero humidity. Every once in a while, something strange will happen where it's 100 and something degrees and you get a little bit of rain, but that's very rare. For the most part, it's very dry. And it's very still because I live in the Central Valley, so like I don't get any breeze whatsoever.
Y'all just cooking.
Yeah, it just sits in here, man. It's dirty, nasty air. So yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, like when Jeffrey always shares it, I always share my temperature because we got 2 different temperatures. Maybe like his is normally hotter, might be like 10, 15.
But it's drier, yeah.
But it's drier, and mine it's like you'll be in the shade sweating. That's how hot it is where I like the humidity with the 100+ degree weather. We've been in like extreme heat advisory for the last like 7 days. And that's at 9 o'clock. Once 9 o'clock comes, they say we advise you not to be outside if you don't have to. It's like that doesn't help for people who actually have to work outside.
Right, man. Like you have to live
hydrated. Yeah, it's like just stay hydrated so you don't die. That's what you should say. But yeah, man. The temperatures. I know everybody's dealing with them. Shout out to Chef Harris in Chicago in the chat. Appreciate y'all stopping through. So I just wanted to catch up with Jeffrey on that end. So we're gonna go into Terrificon right after we talk this because we were talking about it and I want to get it out while we're thinking about it. So Barbie. What's your guys' thoughts on this movie possibly being $1 billion movie? I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna look up the box office while y'all talk about it, because we can get the exact numbers. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say right now. I mean, like, it doesn't surprise me if it does.
Yeah.
And to be honest, too, I guess, and this is something that a lot of people I think aren't thinking about, which is
I think it makes perfect sense, honestly.
Oh yeah, if it makes $1 billion, they're gonna make more Mattel properties. So if you're a fan of He-Man, you actually kind of want this movie to make $1 billion because it proves that there's a market for these toy line movies. So definitely, Oh, God.
Sorry, I was just saying. I just think imagine every girl who owned a Barbie from the 80s to 2000. That's not even the recent, just 80s to
Yep.
2000. Who has this nostalgic tie to Barbie decided to go see the movie. That would probably make it a
Oh,
billion
yeah.
box office movie right there, regardless of how good it is. You know what I mean? So to me that doesn't surprise me, and I think it's just proof to show that they've probably been overdue for something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I can tell you just from my Facebook feed, like, so on opening night, my Facebook feed, there were, I mean, just like how you'd see people, going to Star Wars movies, cosplay, like there were girls that I grew up with, or women that I grew up with, and from like, elementary school and up, they were all dressed in their pink dresses. They were, all, I mean, they were ready to go. They were cosplaying as Barbie, like, and it was groups of them. So it was just like, it's something that was really, it was really fun to see, like, oh, like, so this is because it's something that, like, being a Star Wars fan, being all that, like, it's like, you're kind of numb to that, and then it's like, oh my god, like this is, I see this. This is actually pretty cool. Like, just see how excited they were, and to see, like, oh, this is how they feel about it. All right, so this is what it looks like to be on this side of it. To be like, oh, people dress up for this movie. Okay, cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because Barbie to me, like, I had all my female cousins, like, I collect action figures, Incredible Hulk and stuff, and I always did growing up. That was what my female cousins collected. They had like the friggin' 50th anniversary Christmas Barbie. They had the Princess Barbie from this movie, or there are all these special edition Barbies, and that was like something that the girls could enjoy, like the guys could with our stuff.
I'll tell you something else.
To give you guys some numbers and give the chat some. I looked up on the numbers. I guess all the numbers for the money. Currently, it sits at $803 million for the worldwide total. Also, great. which I totally forgot, it's in the movie. Barbie is going to be a huge win for a movie company that really needs it. Warner Brothers.
Yep. Oh wow!
Barbie will make more than Black Adam. Well, it probably already has more than Black Adam. Flash. What else have they had got out? Most likely Blue Beetle. Let's be honest. People talk, oh, it looks good. It's not going to make any money. Let's be real.
You've seen the best of it in the previews already.
Yes,
probably.
Yeah. It's not going to make any money. I don't know. It looks. I don't know. It looks TV-ish, but so you could add up those three movies most likely, unless Blue Beetle shocks the world. You're gonna have three superhero movies that Barbie is going to go over.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Pretty crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if it beat them all combined eventually. But
yeah, well,
I think it will beat them all combined. I don't think those three combined are gonna equal with Barbie. I don't think they're gonna equal Barbie because the first two, Flash and Black Adam, is not even at 800 million. I think they equal out to like 6 or 5, something crazy.
Something like that, yeah. And then the thing that's crazy, I mean, it's just like, for them to get that win is great. But then, too, it's just like, when you think about it as far as, just, toy franchise by itself, I mean, for girls, that's the biggest one, easily. And it's just, and it's funny that, like, I just remember, my cousin had a bunch, my sister had a bunch. My daughter now has, and she I guess was gifted it because my wife's friend, who has a daughter around the same age as mine, who they're actually friends themselves, but like they were like moving and like, we can't have this Barbie dream house. You got, would you like it? And I'm sitting there thinking that, oh, well, it's a Barbie, it's just like a little small house, whatever. The thing is fucking massive. It is huge. It's just as big as you, like, I'd say, like, if you remember the old G.I. Joe vehicles, or like,
I was gonna say it's bigger than Castle Grayskull.
Yes, I was gonna say, if you remember the place that's the He-Man, it dwarfs it. It makes it look like tiny. And then
my niece has one. It's like this big trifold open up thing, and it's like 3 stories tall with these like massive stairs all around it.
Yeah,
it's got an elevator.
Yeah. I couldn't believe when I saw it. Like when we got it home, I was like, what the hell is this? Oh, it's a Barbie dream house. It's like, are you serious? I was like, so now I understand why people like, said it as a joke, like, oh yeah, the Barbie dream house. Like, it's a legit like house. Like you could put so much shit in there. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But I mean, but you got to think about it. Something that has toys that massive, within the toy line is going to do huge numbers when you bring it to an actual movie. So like here's the hoping that they go ahead and they make a He-Man movie, or they look into other toy properties, because it's fun for all of us who are adults now that play with that stuff in the 80s to see these things come to life. So
all right, I'm gonna give you guys the top 10 movies box office worldwide this year so far, because we still have, I think, the Marvels and some other bigger movies that might be coming out, might come out that might disrupt this worldwide stuff. So number one should be no question, Super Mario Brothers movie at 1.3 billion. Guardians 3, which a lot of people was like, Marvel's not making any money. Yeah. Guardians 3 made $845 million. Number 3, can you guys guess what number 3 is?
It's either Oppenheimer. Is it Oppenheimer or it's Barbie?
We already were talking about it. It's Barbie 800 worldwide. Because if Guardians 845, Barbie's right next to it. So Barbie currently is going to I could say this with confidence, unless the world ends. Barbie will overtake. Barbie will be number 2 within a few days.
No problem.
The number 1 movie worldwide.
Wouldn't that be something if it was number 1 for the whole year? That'd be crazy. It could be.
I mean,
it could be. It has a lot of work to do, because 1.3 billion is nothing sneezable.
No, not at all.
So like but we know it's going to be number 2. Number 2 is easy, and that just shows people the female dollar goes a long ride. If you make a good female movie, they will spend their money.
Something they're interested in, even.
So. Number 4, Fast X was 704. I didn't even know they made that much money.
Really?
Fast X made 700.
That surprises me.
You know why? Because
kids,
no,
the foreign market.
The foreign market.
Yep.
Fast and the Furious and Vin Diesel lives on the foreign market. They made over $500 million on the foreign market. We'll see it the first weekend, and that's it.
They love that movie.
Spider-Verse, which is still, I think, in theaters, is still Spider-Verse. They're at 682 million,
which is a really fun movie too.
Yeah. Which they might pass up. They might pass up Fast X. Their problem is, because I'm looking. I should share this. Their problem is, let me share it, because everybody can see and we can talk while I'm talking about it. But the problem with Spider-Verse is, and some people who are okay to admit and can talk about this. The problem with Spider-Verse, let's be honest, the 2 main characters is a black Spider-Man, or a black / Puerto Rican Spider-Man, and then a female. So that's the problem with worldwide. That's the problem with Spider-Verse worldwide. Now, you're not saying it's a problem here, but that's why Fast X is making more than Spider-Verse. Let's just be honest. So y'all can see that. If y'all can see it, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see.
All right. Well, so I talked about Spider-Verse. Then you got Little Mermaid, which a lot of people didn't realize. Little Mermaid.
I did.
Mermaid.
Yeah, $564 million, which it costs a lot to make that movie, but they are profitable. I think they have to make like 525 to break even, and they've been doing that. This is the letdown. A lot of people is the Ant-Man and the Wasp at 476.
Yeah,
this movie is going to slowly creep up.
Yeah,
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. It hasn't been out that long. It has a lot of people, like Barbie and all these other movies that kind of came out like a week later. Barbie came out a week later, and Oppenheimer came out a week later. If those 2 movies would have waited maybe 1 more week, I think Mission Impossible be like in the 4 or 5 range right now. It's that good of a movie. It's very, very good.
Slow riser,
Yeah, if anybody knows about that, that's always been that with Mission Impossible. It's slowly, and then all of a sudden, before you know, when it finishes in the movie theaters, you're like, dang, I didn't know Mission Impossible made $900 million. You're like, what the hell? But it's worth it. I would tell people if you have a chance to go in theaters to see it because of all the action, go see it. It's well worth it. If you have to choose between a 3-hour movie, which is Oppenheimer, and maybe a 2.5-hour movie, which is Mission Impossible, go Mission Impossible. I want to see Oppenheimer too, but it's 3 hours. I'm sorry. the Transformers, which is already on streaming, I think.
Yeah, that's out of theaters now, I think.
Yeah, it's at 429, which they weren't expecting it to be that high.
I heard
John
good
Wick.
things.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I heard good things about the Transformers movie.
It was good. It was good. It was good. It wasn't as good as Bumblebee, but it was actually really good. It was really good. John Wick, which was probably my second best movie of the summer. It's 426, but you talk about a movie that might have cost 150 million to make. So that Oppenheimer, which is still in theaters, at 11. So Oppenheimer's probably going to overtake 10. We know that. It's probably actually going to overtake all the way to 9 at least. But that's going to be another slow. That's going to be Oppenheimer's going to be slow. I mean, or not slow, hard, because it's 3-hour time limit. If Oppenheimer makes 500 million, in my opinion, that's a win for a movie that's 3 hours long.
Yeah, and it's a historical movie too. Like, there's not going to be Oppenheimer 2 or anything like that. Like it's just like just a. I wouldn't call it a biopic, but it's just basically like a historical movie. So, but something like that to make that kind of money, it's doing pretty well. Like, just say it's a quality movie.
Just something real quick. Looking at these numbers, do you think that maybe just in general, like movies are not as popular in America? Because if you look, not all of these, but just about the high majority of them have scaled more money in foreign than they have domestic. Now, like not all of them, but like look at Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer made more money foreign. Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, the Super Mario Brothers movie did. Guardians of the Galaxy did. Barbie, Fast X, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Man did not. Little Mermaid did not. Ant-Man did. Mission Impossible is like double what it did.
Yeah, but that's always been
that's always been like that.
Yeah, it's always been like that.
The thing you have to remember with that though is, I mean, like as far as domestic, I mean, we're just looking at
domestic is just the United States.
I mean, the rest of the world, of course, that's why
a lot bigger. But
the foreign number is always going to be way bigger, just because
it should be way bigger. The foreign number should be way bigger. But when you add something nostalgia and it's good, it gets a lot closer. Like in this example for Mario almost made $600 million, and the foreign is only 776.
So I guess
I guarantee you the foreign for that was Japan. I guarantee you.
I guess that could be a good way to judge it domestically how well it does. This
is another one where it's going. The domestic will overtake the foreign. I have to. You have to, and people don't like to bring. Like I said, I always say people don't like to bring it up, but it's the world we live in. Barbie is going to plateau in foreign markets because it's a blonde hair white girl, and the world is not all blonde.
Barbie's totally like an American.
It's the domestic for it is going to like skyrocket above it eventually. I think I could see at least be, I shouldn't say skyrocket above. Let me say it's going to be above it. It's just going to be above it. It's going to be something like Spider-Verse. Yeah, Spider-Verse is 390, 379, and that's 330. It'll probably end with this one being like Barbie being like 50 million more or something, or 60 million more. It's going to be more. It's not many movies.
The Little Mermaid is the same too.
Yeah, but not many movies survive off of domestic, which it's like that's very dangerous. Because that's the only reason Fast X gets more movies. Vin Diesel, that's the only reason Tom Cruise gets more movies, is because domestic markets love their movies, which we like them, but we go over time to see those movies. Like Little Mermaid stayed in the top 10 for like movies for 8 weeks. And that might not sound like nothing, but that means it's still making money for the last 8 weeks. It was making money. It didn't go like the Flash and be like, oh crap, nobody's seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
have a good first day, and that's about it.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah. So it's that's what you need, that build, that slow grind for certain movies like a Mission Impossible or even a Fast X. Because Fast X, I don't know if y'all remember when that came out. They were like, "Oh, is Fast X going to be profitable?" Blah blah blah. And then you look at the numbers, like, they made 700 million. You're like, golly,
It always is, just because, and it's funny too, because it's like, somebody had made kind of a joke about it, like, like, how many times are you gonna make the same movie? And it's just like, and they asked Ludacris, like, why do they keep making these? It's like, because they make money. He's like, there's no reason to stop. Like they make money. Like you keep going to see them, so we'll keep making them, just because it's,
That's why we don't
Mission
have.
Impossible.
Well, I was gonna say that, I was gonna talk about that one right after, but like you said, Fast and the Furious, like they keep making money. That's why instead of being a 2-part finale, it's technically going to be a 3-part finale because you have the Hobbs movie right in the middle. So so they're gonna have 2 more movies before they're supposed to end it, and I guarantee you they're probably gonna have spinoffs. You're gonna have more spinoffs with The Rock's character, Jason Statham's character. You're gonna have spinoff, so you're gonna have spinoffs with it. When movies are making $700 million,
yeah,
and if the next one, like say how the Hobbs movie makes $700 million, and let's say the last one, because it's the last one, let's say the last one makes $1 billion. So now between the last 3 movies, you made almost $3 billion.
Why would you want him to stop? Like,
why, right? And so like, why would you stop? Not just why would you not have spinoffs? That people I can't believe Ludacris character is getting a spinoff. The freaking last 3 movies made almost $3 billion.
Yeah, well, it's like the same thing. Like if you go back to the late 80s into the early 90s, like the movies that were doing like this type of thing, there weren't many spin-offs, but it was like you look at all the horror franchises. Friday the 13th had like 8 movies in a row. You know what I mean? And they just kept making them because they kept making money. Freddy had 6. Halloween had like 6 movies before they started branching out the story. It's like a Child's Play had like 4 movies. It's like for whatever reason, people just really like those slasher films, and they just kept making them. So it's just like, as long as there's money to be made, like they will continue making that same movie that you like, or the same style of movie.
Yeah. Talk about slasher movies. Look what's down here.
I know. That's what I saw. That I was like, there was like 8 of them in 2000, right? Like,
oh my god!
You'll never get rid of it. You'll never get rid of it, just because
and I have to talk about this movie. It's number 16, but
it's good. It's actually a pretty good movie.
Dungeons and Dragons is actually a really good movie. It's actually really good. Like so, and they talks about doing a sequel. So
I hope they get a sequel, because it was actually really good, and it was. I think that the thing about it that made it, I guess, probably hard for people to identify with is that it's like, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons. And I think a lot of people don't quite know what that is full out, as far as how do you translate what people are playing in their homes onto the screen. And it was like like they did a really good job of just showing I guess their world and how they would explore it.
What I think, this is my opinion, Kirk. You've seen it. I don't think Jeffrey's seen it, but I've seen it. This is and it's nothing against him, because he did a good job in the role. I think Chris Pine hurt this movie rather than helped it. Not saying that his acting, he was good acting in it. I like Chris Pine. The reason why I said he hurt this because he was the leading man. If you change Chris Pine with Chris Pratt, I think that movie makes $500 million.
Probably, I can see that, just because Chris Pine, as much as like you say, he's a good actor. It's just
he's a hard leading man. He's a hard leading man to lead a franchise, because Dungeons and Dragons would be a franchise.
Yeah,
and we see kind of what happened with Star Trek. Like, the movies weren't bad. It was just that he is the face of the movies, and it's nothing against him. Like you said, he's great. I would think he'd be great as a second. Like, you have the leading, and then he'd be like the second person. I think he'd be better suited for that. That's just me, because I'm seeing how the numbers and stuff. Well, I'm gonna get this off the screen. I think we talked enough about numbers and money, and that we're not gonna see. But I didn't even see nothing what the chat said. Google said John Wick cost $100 million. Oh yeah, it didn't. Yeah, I was like, I knew it didn't cost that much for John Wick to make. Let's see, we have 330 million people in America. India and China just have 1.4 billion.
Yeah,
but you could say probably 800 million of those people probably live in areas where they can't see a movie.
Yeah, or afford it.
Or even afford it. Yeah, and it might be higher than 800 million.
Man, that, like I say, the thing that when you look at those numbers and you look at just how you can make all that, it's just like if you have a movie that's a success in China or India, I mean you're golden. You know what I mean? As long as the domestic numbers are decent, if they could be decent, maybe not quite great here, but if you strike gold over there, you're set. Doesn't matter what happens next. You just sit there and just be like, all right,
Well,
they
they have their own big market in India, right?
Bollywood.
Yeah, Bollywood. They're the Bollywood stuff.
I didn't know if it was racist to say that.
No, that's what they actually call it. That's what they call it. So
I know, but
But before we probably go into something else, the projections for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mayhem. If you want to see me and my daughter's review, and we show this off, she talks about she actually colored this. This is not, you can't get this from Pizza Hut. The box does not look like this. Does not look like this, FYI. So I don't want people to be like, man, I ordered a pizza and it didn't look like
it's a plain looking box.
Yeah, like it's a plain. Let me see if you can see it, but it's not gonna look like this. It's a plain looking box. She colored this herself.
Cool. Even
colored some of the Mikey stuff, as you can tell. But yeah, the box does not look like that. So don't get mad when you be like, oh, I didn't. But if you want to get, but one thing she kind of reminded me is, make sure if you want to get that box from Pizza Hut, call them to see if they have it.
Yeah.
And this is what you do too. Call to see if they have it. Order your pizza, and then when you go pick it up, ask if you can have an empty box. If you want to collect the box, that's what she ended up doing.
Do they have one of every character?
I forgot the other character she had, so I'm guessing they do.
At least
of all the turtles,
right?
Or at least all the turtles. I think they have at least of all the turtles. They even might have Splinter because he loves pizza too. But
so pizza's going to be the meal for the next week for the who that family. Like, I need to get all 4 boxes.
Nah, I'm actually good. I'm happy with this one. I'm happy with this one. I do not have to get all of them. I was gonna tear this little piece off, but it's actually part of the art as well. So, but yeah, no, I'm good with this one. She thought of that. I didn't think about that. So if you do want one, just get an empty box, and then if you want to collect it, because as you realize, if anybody realizes who collected turtle stuff or anything nostalgia back in the day, when something like this happens, when it's gone, it's gone.
Oh, it's over.
It's gone. It's gone. Like literally, probably when my daughter gets old, if we hang on to this, she probably could sell this for like money, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, I watch shows of guys like at toy conventions and stuff. They're buying like old Ninja Turtle birthday party decorations and cups.
Yeah,
man, I seen people buy the cereal. The cereal had been producing they might have it now, but the original cereal. Yeah, like, people bought the original cereal, or the Batman, so. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like I've seen people like, oh man, so like
I've got old Wheaties boxes.
Yeah, like stuff like that. But like you said, once it's gone, it's gone. You're not going to see it again. So, but yeah, that movie is only projected to make $35 to $45 million this weekend. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know. When I saw it Saturday, the theater was half full, and this is a how do you call it? It's like not a preview, but it's like an early screening. And this is in the height of Barbie still, going on. You got Oppenheimer, you got Dead Reckoning. What else? You still got the Spider-Verse. You got all these other movies out, and it was half full. And
I mean, it's still summertime. Give it time for kids to go during the day, when they got nothing to do. I think it'll creep up.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the projection might be too low. I hope it is, because it was actually a good, enjoyable movie, and I'm excited for the future in that universe. Because what I have to tell people, it's not the same. I don't think it's the same universe as maybe a live action. So because these turtles are actually only 15 years old. They're only 15.
Even so, regardless, you want to see properties you enjoy succeed, because if this was a total failure, then it's going to put doubt into the minds of a producer of a live action film or something, right? The more this does, the more they're like, okay, well, this did really well. Maybe we can do a live action one right now and succeed or something. I feel like, so even regardless I haven't seen the movie, I'm not saying anything bad, but even if you went to it and didn't like it, but you love the turtles, you still want to see it do good, because it could breathe life into another Turtles project in the future,
or another property that's tied with them. Yeah, it
right?
could be
Yeah,
something
Usagi or something, right?
yeah. So and I'm the type of person I want all movies to actually do well because it just leads to more stuff that we can consume as consumers. So
Yeah,
right.
That's just my thoughts on it. So yeah, I was shocked on some of those numbers that we looked at because that was actually live to let people know if they watch this. That was live. I didn't look at none of this beforehand. I just thought Barbie was close to $1 billion. I didn't know it was that close.
It's pretty good.
It literally, I think Barbie will make the $1 billion probably in 2 weeks.
I think Deadpool will be another hit. I think when it comes out, right? That'll be one that
because they're talking about like cameo.
It doesn't. I thought it came out in like November or something. Though.
Well, let's just say this with the strike and everything. It's not.
Oh yeah. I forgot all about that.
The only movie I know for a fact that's done and in the can and everything's done with it is Marvel's.
But they even said that they might push that back till like next year because
they're talking about pushing that because they can't promote it.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and that's a movie you have to promote, and you need the people at the screenings, and so but that's not till November, right? That movie's coming in November.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in November, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think if they don't clear up strikes by the end of the month, they'll probably push it back. I think if this is September, if this September 2nd and they're still striking, then they might push it back.
Yeah.
But if everything is done within the next 4 weeks, they're not going to push it. So they're already promoting it. There's a lot of money in marketing already spent, and people are going to have their doubts on that movie when they push it back again, not realizing it got pushed back because of COVID and then a strike. Not because the movie is that it's not good. I think the actual movie is going to be way better than a lot of people expect. That's just because I like Miss Marvel, Komikhan character. I like Monica Rambeau character. Those two and then we find out that Nick Fury's in the movie too. So
you gotta remember the Skrulls. Like, is this really Nick Fury though? Like, we don't know.
Well, we'll find out, but it's gonna be. I think that's what I said. I think it's gonna be good. Speaking of the Skrulls, as I said, speaking of Skrulls, I watched it. I watched it. I am not one of those people that hated it.
No, I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it. It wasn't the best project ever, no, but it definitely was not in the hate realm. Not even close. Not even close in the hate realm.
I think
it could have been a little longer.
Too short. Yeah. Like that. That's one thing I will say. I think the finale was a little bit too short. And I think that's what people felt kind of. I mean, I think people felt upset about that more than anything because it's like, the first. I think the first episode was like an hour, and then so usually
that's what they did with She-Hulk too. Remember?
Yeah. Well, usually it's like so they did the opposite of the formula where it's like, all right, so usually the beginning episodes. They may be a little long, but then again, usually they might be a little bit shorter, and then you kind of lengthen it out as you go. So the finale is like, this big long thing, and I don't know why they went the other way with it, but people were. I don't know. I was hoping for a longer finale, but I mean, for what it was good. I liked it. I thought it was a good show. I think it did its job into showing, giving you a little bit of insight into the Skrulls, how they work, and then, seeing what can happen next from there. Just because it's like, unfortunately for us right now, there's not too much, and they're still building into, was it phase 4, phase 5? They're still doing that phase 5.
You leave with a lot of questions from this show, and it's like you said, they're still building on stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
I think that's where a lot of people get upset because they did I think people don't like having the uncertainty. Like, well, what's this all about? And it's just like, and it's funny because like in the beginning of the MCU, people were like, oh, I wonder what this is. They were more quick. Now it's just like, I want it now. I don't want to have to guess and wait. It's like you have to, just because once you get to that, like that should build anticipation. But I don't think that's where people are at right now. I think people are really just like instant gratification type thing where it's just like, I want to know exactly what's going on right now. And it's like, no, let it build, let it be something cool, let it be something special.
You know what else people talked about for this show? Because how many? It had 6 episodes, right? 6 episodes. And a lot of people complain because I think it cost $250 million to make the show. But people tend to forget if they would have did a movie, it probably would have cost the same amount as well.
Yeah.
The movie might have been done better, but you would have had only like 2 hours. And a lot of stuff that would have been cut. A lot of stuff would have been cut out. Yeah. So and a lot of people don't realize how the TV shows and movies like how you relate those two. The TV shows, like they give the TV show, like say the TV show has 250 million, but they have to stretch that between 6 episodes. So it's actually not as much money as it looks on paper compared to a movie that might be 2 hours long. One movie for $250 million. They could put more money in certain things of the movie because their money is better focused. But when you have 6 episodes or 8 episodes, I mean, this is your set budget. Like certain episodes might be a little lackluster because you're trying to save money for another episode.
Yeah.
So that's the little thing that people need to tend to remember. It's like, you know, like yeah, we want action every show, and we want in-game results on everything we see, but we can't always have it. What's up, Nick?
Yeah.
Nick has a lot of comments. What are you talking about?
Yo,
I think
Nick.
the show isn't working. I had no interest in Secret Invasion. I felt good idea, but at the rate I'd rather see all in movies. Well, they're doing the aspect of that. They can't do everything in movies.
Time-wise, you got to think it'll take a long time.
Yeah, if they did everything in movies, we wouldn't get to whatever phase we were on until like 2027.
We did.
Well, the thing is too, like what Hudat said as well, is like there'd be a lot of stuff cut out, and there'd be a lot of stuff that you don't get explanation on. You know, everything. Some things might feel a little bit rushed because you know you're dealing with like 2 to 2.5 hour runtime. And then you have to, with the show, you can kind of lengthen things out. I think that, I just say what I think, when it comes to that. I think that they didn't give it as much time as they probably should have. Like if every episode was 45 minutes, I mean, legitimately runtime 45 minutes, I think you would have been fine. I think you wouldn't have had a problem. I think you could have gotten across everything you wanted to in that, period of time. It's just the finale, I think, is what hurt it. And then he was saying like Loki was the only one, maybe Moon Knight.
Loki and Moon Knight,
yeah.
He said that I liked that
Loki needed to be in
episodes rather than
like Loki needed to be in there, and a lot of people were upset with Moon Knight because they're like, well, the show didn't really have that much Moon Knight. It was more, it was more.
It was slow.
Yeah,
they were trying to and I always try to tell Marvel fans or comic book fans. They're trying to build a character and talk to a character to people who have no idea what this character is. Moon Knight, I hate to say it, was made for comic book fans. The show, not like the announcement. Moon Knight, it's made for us. The show is not made for us because we know more about Moon Knight than
the people,
like say our significant other or our children. Or none of those people, they don't know, so they have to try to the best way they can explain this character and how many episodes they have.
Well, that, and then you also, I think, have to remember, and this is why Moon Knight as a comic has so many volumes, because Moon Knight is a very hard character to write because of the fact that he has split personalities, and because it's hard to tell a story where you have all these different things going on. And it's just like, so you have the first run that has him written a certain way, and then you have another run, and it's not Mark Spector in this one, or it's Mark Spector in these volumes. Now it's Steven in this volume, and now it's Jake Locke. And so it's just like, to go through all that, it's tough. And then to really try to bring that all out and put it in a show, that's a lot to deal with. So I think really Moon Knight, of the shows that you mentioned, I think Moon Knight's going to be a one and done probably. Loki is definitely getting in the season because they're going to tie it in, and I think that was a show that was better received, and I think it was done kind of better because it's more of a straight path. Like they were trying to tell a story based on Loki himself, and then trying to develop his character, and then getting to the point where they were going to explain what the multiverse was.
If they can get deeper in the what else? I was not multiverse, but
mythology of the gods.
Not that's mythology of Moon Knight. I'm trying to think of that underworld, that underworld of those certain characters that Moon Knight would be in. I think it would be amazing. I would love to see some Blade, Moon Knight, those type of movies all together, or even Black Knight. I would love to see those in movies, kind of fight together, do stuff together. So
I think didn't they do some Punisher, some team up with Punisher too?
Like all of those, all of those. I would love to see all of those kind of coexist in their own, like not like the street level or the supernatural. That's what I'm thinking about. Supernatural type characters. I would love to see them kind of have their own, like, not own universe, but be like in the comics. Like, be like, all right, hey, Moon Knight, Blade, and Punisher over here doing something, and over there, the Avengers are doing something. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like in the comics, you would have stories going on, and then they'd be like, oh, to see who such and such going on, read blah blah blah. He'd be like, why is such and such not helping him out? He's like, oh, he's dealing with something else.
And it makes sense too, like how you're saying that, just because, you know, you're not just gonna put Blade in an Avengers movie to be an Avenger. Like, that wouldn't work. But if it's something like where it's like you have it on a show and it's like, you know, this thing's happening, we don't understand it, and then all of a sudden he shows up and it's like, something like, where he crosses over and he's like, look, there's something going on that I've been tracking and I see it happening here. Because if they're like, why are you here? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, that type of thing makes sense, where it's like, all right, so now you have a reason for these guys to meet and for it to be like, like there's a threat that you guys aren't ready for because you don't know what you're doing. And we need the help of this guy here to come and tell us what's going on.
It'd be kind of cool, but like, you know, like he already wants a Midnight Suns. It'd be like you said, it'd be cool to have like a super threat that'd be like worldly, where maybe the Fantastic Four and stuff would have to handle, and then Blade and Moon Knight and whoever else would be like, look, it's something even deeper than that. Like, it's going along, not also in the real world. This is going along in the supernatural, behind the scenes. And if they both win, if one of them win, they both win. So we're gonna go handle this. You know, y'all go handle that. That would actually be a kind of a different take on almost like a big, like, Avengers event movie.
Actually, you know who flows into that pretty well would be like a Doctor Strange as well.
Doctor Strange, he could play both sides,
Exactly, because Doctor Strange could be the one that kind of is like, all right, look, like, these guys understand this from this level. Like here's and he can actually like do his thing where he can show them like, all right, so this is, and you can have one of them talk about it, like, this is what he's talking about here, and then, you know, like I mean, like, he could be like the liaison between the two, which is kind of cool. But, you know.
Speaking of Loki, then we're gonna go. Chris is gonna talk about Terrificon. Speaking of Loki, and this because it'll be quick. Did y'all see the trailer?
Yes,
I haven't.
I saw it at the end of I think at Ant-Man they showed a little bit of it. Like you
see, no, not that. Not they have actually a whole trailer for the show. I actually saw bits and pieces of it because I started watching it. I'm at work and something. I was like, all right, and then it started so I never really watched it. Sat down and be like, watch it. Before what I saw, I made me excited for it. And for what I saw, the trailer a little bit tried to not show as much Jonathan Majors, but they have a big statue of
I know
Kang or whatever. So Jonathan Majors' character. So he's in the movie. I mean, in the show. We just don't know how much yet. They're just waiting to see. But I would recommend looking at the trailer.
I didn't see the trailer yet. Like the last trailer I saw for anything comic related was Invincible season 2, which
I didn't even see that.
It's going to be cool, like, because I read the comics, I read the everything digitally, so I know where they're getting to, and they've already said, I think, that they're starting to voice season 3. So, like, I'll just say this much: for everything that they did in the first season, the fight with Omni-Man is just the preview. Like the fights that are going to come up after that are going to be ridiculous. Like when he takes on other Viltrumites, it's going to just be crazy. So I'm super excited for that. But I definitely have to check out that Loki trailer because that is going to be something to see.
Yeah, I need to check out because I heard season 3 is actually completed for you just said the damn show.
Invincible?
Yeah.
Invincible season 3 is actually completed.
Oh, and
That's
actually, I'll say this much too: that Adam Eve movie was actually good. Or the Adam Eve show, or whatever it is.
short,
That's on there.
whatever it was.
Huh?
Was it a short? It was a short, right?
No, it was an actual like episode. It was really good. Like I was didn't know what to expect watching it, and it was good. It was. I mean, it definitely
Is it
gets your
on?
attention.
Is it on Amazon?
Yep, it's on Amazon. Yep. And then
I know I'm
the
watching
sad
after
part
the
about
film.
that movie, the sad part about that show is that Lance Reddick did the voiceover for one of the characters in the show, and it's just like if you don't know Lance Reddick, he was the guy that was
The concierge on John Wick.
Yes, and then he was also what's it called, Albert Wesker on Resident Evil, and then and if you watch The Wire, he's Lieutenant Daniels. So he's been in a ton of stuff. He was
Also, he did the voice. He did the voice of a character on video game. The video game he actually was playing the day before he died. I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was somebody in the chat might know it. But he was actually they actually tracked and saw he was playing the game online, playing the game the day before he died. As his character, yeah. So yeah, Lance Reddick actually I heard like as far as I know he was a great guy. So and he's gonna be missed because I like everything he's been in. I've always liked it's not one thing I haven't liked him not being in. So yeah. But Chris, man, terrific con.
Yes.
Terrific con. And then we can have a quick chat about what we after, what we picking up, because I want to know what this guy's after. Because he been working, so I know he got the itch.
So that's so
terrific con. So how was terrific con? What did you? I know you only went one day, I think.
Yeah.
But you had a full day.
Oh my god, yeah. So Terrificon was, for lack of a better word, Terrificon was awesome. I have to say for the Friday, the day I went, it was really, really good, and I got a lot accomplished in that time. I think I went from the show started at 1:30. I went from 1:30 to I think about like 6 or so, and I was able to get a good amount of autographs. I met a bunch of great people. It was just, I mean, people from the community and everything over there. It was just like a really, 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 I think, just for me, it's the best event that's in New England. So, like, I would say to anybody who's, if you're ever going to go up to the Northeast for a convention, Terrificon should be the one that you go to. It's just, the lineup they have is ridiculous. Just for comic creators, and they also have actors. They had wrestlers. They had voice actors. They have great vendors there. And then this is like all people and a lot of the vendors that are there selling books and stuff are people that like Three Men in the Basement was there. Barry Gary was there. Pressable Defects was there. E-Rod was there selling books. There was a bunch of the other people that you see. Swaggle House was there. Who else is there that I remember that they were talking about? Swaggle House was there selling his book, signing his book, I should say. Was it Comic Journey was there? Comic Ozzy was there. No Good Comics was there. We were talking to each other in line. The butcher came up to me, just chilling. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" So it was just like, it's such a fun experience. And I would say, as far as the show wasn't overly packed for that day. I know that Saturday is probably just a madhouse, but like for Friday, like the lines weren't too bad. There was some lines that were a little long. There was Jim Valent, I guess, and I missed out on this. I didn't know that his line was huge. I didn't know why, because he worked on Catwoman, and so he had he's got a impressive body of work of stuff that he's done on Catwoman and everything, but. When he was, just his line was huge. He was right next to Claire Claremont, and I was just like, "Why is his line so long?" And I didn't know why. I found out the next day when I was on Facebook, the reason his line was so long. He was doing sketches for free. Like he was like, "If you go in there, I will give you a headshot sketch for free. You just gotta wait for me to do it." And so like he was just doing free sketch commissions. Yeah.
That's why his line was long.
Yeah, like had I known, I would have been like, "Oh wow, maybe I'll wait in this line for a little bit." but I just
I probably would have tried to wait. I ain't gonna lie, I would probably try to wait just because I got the sketchbook. I'd have tried to wait,
Yeah.
just to get something done because
And he was doing good stuff. Like it wasn't like he was just whipping out like just like some little dude. Like he was putting in work. He was doing good stuff. Walt Simonson was there, and he I guess is known to the first however many people. If you go right to him, he'll do a sketch for you. So it's just like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was not one of the first, but I did manage to get 3 books signed by him for free because he was going on a break, and I was just like, I just went up to him saying that I wanted to meet him because I had never gotten to before. So I was just like, I've never met you and Louise. You guys always go to Baltimore, but I never made it down. So I just wanted to say hi, and and I don't want to hold you up if you're going on your break or anything. He's like, is there anything I can do for you? I was just like, is that all you want? I was like, well, I mean, I have a couple of books if you don't mind. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And so like, he just like, went ahead and started signing them. I was just like, okay. I was like, how much is it? Free. Don't worry about it. Now I told him, I was like, you and Louise are royalty. Thank you so much. So he was awesome. Jim Stalin was awesome. He was, I got to his line, luckily before everybody else was like, I need to get in Jim Stalin. Like I was just in his line. There was no one there. It was like, I think 2 people ahead of me, and got something signed, and then had a good conversation with him. Al Milgram, he had a pretty decent sized line, but Al's thing was that he was just like talking to people and doing things. So his was a little bit of a wait, and then I have a quest when I go to Terrificon. I can't, like John Jang's been there 3 years. You know how many times I've met him? None, because I can't find him. I don't know where he is. He's advertised for this show, but in the program he's not written down anywhere, and I don't know which. I guess it was some artist booth, but I don't know which one it is. So I go looking, and I'm like, and I don't know what the guy looks like, so I'm just like, I never see him. But one year I will find him. I'm trying to think of what else. There was I saw Danhausen. So if you know Danhausen from AEW, he got the makeup on and he talks in the funny voice. He was talking in his regular voice. I was shocked. I was just like, he has a real voice. And as I was walking out, I didn't realize I was walking next to. I obviously realized walking next to him because of face paint. And then next to him, that was just walking and talking, is that Ethan Page. So I'm just walking with these wrestlers, not realizing that I was like, oh my god, it's Ethan Page. That's pretty cool. So it's just like people were just kind of chilling. And
he's a big toy collector. I like watching. Find
this picture. I could. I just, I'll be honest with you. Even if I found his picture, I don't know where he is in the show. And then I asked people like, "Hey, do you know where, this guy is?" And he's like, "And just like, I don't know." I'm like, great. So I was on a limited budget, so I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do all that. So, but everybody was awesome. There was nobody that made you feel like they were rushed or that they didn't want to be around you. They were just really, really cool. Claremont was great. Claremont was awesome. And I have to say that I didn't budget well enough to see Michael Golden, because when I was like, oh, I'll go see Michael Golden now, and all of a sudden it's like I found out that for the Avengers Annual 10, he charges $50 to sign that book, and I was like, what? I was like, I'm not paying $50 to see him right now. I was like, I'm good. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy because Rubenstein charged $25, but that was because I was getting it graded.
Yeah.
If I wasn't getting it graded, it would have been cheaper. I think it would have been $15. And I think Claremont, I forgot how much he is, but
I think he only charged me $5 or something like that, and I was just like, okay. He was. But
that just first. So he's charging that much. Did he even have a line?
No, there was nobody around him. That was the thing. He he was there, and he's a super nice guy. But I forget when I got
his wife was with him. I think his wife is the one that goes with him, right?
His wife is Renee Witta something or other.
Yeah, but what I've noticed, and I think they need to rethink of his I don't know how to say it, but when he goes to convention, because he was expensive when he came to New Orleans, and this a few years back, but like you said, it's like nobody's in line for you because you're more expensive than Greg Land and
Yeah.
Mark Brooks, and all these other people who like.
Mark Brooks is a good dude. I like him.
Yeah, only thing I didn't like, he left early, like for the convention because it wasn't as busy on Sunday. So his ass took off like within the convention, like had like 6 hours left on a Sunday.
So the cool thing about him, like, was if you bought any of his prints that he was selling for $20, like he'll sign it for free. Like for me, that's a fucking win-win, bro. Like I got this, what is probably like a 12x18 Immortal Hulk, that Avengers 84 cover or whatever, Immortal Hulk, like. And he signed it in the freaking gold.
You know who's like that?
$20. Like I'll take that all day. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of his name. I actually got the book. One of his books.
Greg Horn. Greg Horn does that too. He's a good dude.
No, I'm talking about David Nakayama. He's like that. Yeah. David Nakayama. So what David Nakayama is, if you buy one of his books, like his books or whatever at the table, he'll sign it for free. He'll sign it for free. So all you got to do is somebody like David Nakayama buy a couple of his books. If you have a book that you wanted to get signed by him anyway, to say, could you sign this one too? He probably won't charge you because you bought like 2 or 3 of his books.
Well, and half the time they're not charging you like freaking eBay prices for their books. They're charging you $5 for the book. You know, like and some do the first one free or the first. Greg Land did the first 3 free.
Yeah.
First 3 free. So what I did is like I think I got 2 books graded. So I got that paid. It was like $10. $10 for getting graded with the signature. And then I came back the next day and had 3 more, and they were like, it's like, it's gonna be, and it's yeah, you came last time. You didn't do your 3 free. I said, no, ma'am. That's why I just came with 3 regular books that I'm not getting graded. She said, don't worry. And then he signed them free. And
that's how Greg Horn was, man. I just walked up to him and he just signed it. So when I get a book signed by somebody, I always like them to personalize it. I have them signed to Jeffrey because I'm not getting rid of that book. I'm not a reseller, but like some people, they'll walk up there with 5 or 6 books,
Yeah.
And
I usually don't do that many, but.
There's people who walk up there with more than like 5 or 6, but I'm just throwing that out there as a number. But they're up there and they're getting these books signed and they're turning around and selling them on eBay $25, $30 and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where you're kind of like.
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm getting a lot of signatures. I try to balance it out for stuff I'll keep it for myself long term and stuff. I try to get a few things that I want to sell to kind of recoup some of the money I spent.
Well, but no, I'm just saying I kind of do understand where like artists and everybody come into like charging for their signature, because it's like, well, if you're going to be making hundreds of dollars off of me signing these books, like, I'm taking the time and effort, I should charge you something for it,
Yeah. I don't have a problem with.
I don't either. I'm just saying
because how I play the game, I would. I'm
not knocking him for charging.
But Michael Golden was that's ridiculous. 50,
I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
Like
more than the book's worth.
It's not $50 for every signature. It's just that specific book. I think it's that, and then the actually I don't know.
Transformer charges not as much as that, but he does charge because I think he did Transformers 2.
Yeah,
and he does charge like $20. I remember paying him for it. It was like $20 to $25. I was like, God, dog, it's Transformers 2. It's not, it's a key, but it's not number 1.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like that's the only thing I say about that is like, he like that in itself is tough because it's like $50 for one signature. I mean, especially depending on and that wasn't even getting graded. I guess if you're getting it graded, it was $80. I was like, fuck that. I'm not charging it for that matter.
You're not Stan Lee, bro.
Well, no, but the thing I look at it is like, if you're gonna do that, I'll just wait for you to do a signing with a private signing with CGC and send it in there, because it's like, all right,
so it's like the same price.
Don't have to wait in line and deal with it.
And I get it. Whereas it's like, like because he's probably signed that book a million times. It's like, okay, so it's just like, I'm just trying to do this, and I'm trying to get the money for it because this is that's my claim to fame. I'm not upset with the man for doing it. I'm just looking at it where it's just like, I know for me, it's just like, I was perfectly fine to move on from there.
I think if you're charging more than 25, you're like really like starting to push it. Like 25, I feel like is a good price. Like, I mean,
unless you're like one of those big names that I hate to say that passed away, you know, you're like one of them.
Yeah, I'm talking about live in-person signatures because, like, let's be honest though, we as collectors still are the reason that these people have careers. Like, you know, so we're our fans. We've provided them with their, you know, what they got. So, like, you know, have a little you know, take care of your fans. Let's provide a little fan service. Too.
I think a lot of them do that. I think that what happens is that you know, I think a lot of them do. I think that like sometimes it's just like one of those things where you kind of look at it. Like I know Al Milgram had a situation like that. Like Al Milgram at one point was, you know, just same deal. He'd do like, you know, books for free, and then it's like, oh, it's just $5 after that. Okay, fine. Then the next year he went to be like $20 a signature just because you know, he had been, you know, just because he had done so much work on stuff, it was like, oh, this is going to be $20. And then he quickly changed his tune on that one just because people were like, no, I'm not going to you if you're charging me $20. So now he's back down to, I think he does like $10 a signature or something like that, which isn't too bad.
Yeah. And even like Huda said earlier, some people are free the first book. Like I've gone up to a lot of people who they don't want to, you know, if you got a stack, they'll charge you, but the first book is always free. You know, with some people, like there's a lot of great people out there. I'm not trying to say like they all are, but you know,
because they know what's going on. They understand.
I mean, Art Germ first book was free. In Huck Lee first book was free. These are guys that really don't come to the States.
I saw Art Germ at New York Komikhan, and the guy had a line that circled around the whole. He's like,
and that's the way it goes. It's like, you know,
it is. Yeah, no.
There's people. I mean, especially a convention like that. That's why, like, as much as I would love I love New York City, and I would love to go to that show. But I just think about it where it's just like I don't know if I want to deal with a crowd that size. Because it's a 4-day show.
You would, yeah. Dallas would probably be better for you for us meeting those type of people. But
Dallas 2024.
Hey, bro, hey, don't play around. Me and Sean got our room, bro. Me and Yahweh got our room. You know, Tone's coming down.
That's
right. And I have to say one thing about Dallas. A lot of people don't realize. The flight to Dallas is actually very affordable. If you plan ahead, the flight is very affordable because Dallas is one of those big hubs, you know.
No, like so I've planned Dallas, you know, for like the last 2 years, and I've looked up driving, the price of gas, all the price of plane tickets. If you get it in advance, you can get a plane ticket for like $180.
Yeah, that's round trip. That's round trip.
I mean, even if that was only one way. Gas is $1,000. You know what I mean? $800 in gas to drive there versus $180 to jump on a plane and be there in 4.5 hours. Like shit.
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
I think you know, one of the tough things with that is that I think people just get intimidated because of like, well, what's the hotel? Because the hotel is, I think, always the biggest expense when it comes to
it is. But if you get it like it's just like flying.
Yeah, but if you commit to doing it in advance,
you do it earlier.
Like just like with Terrificon. So I keep saying like I want to do all 3 days. I would love to do all 3 because I would, just because you know it's so much easier to be okay. First day, let me get these guys out of the way right now. Then I'll go and get these other guys here, and then it's just like you can pace yourself, you can look at things, you can do other stuff. Just because, like, you know, like there was a bunch of celebrities that were there that would have been cool to meet. Like Rebecca Romaine was there, and I didn't have anything for her, but I was like, oh, I can meet Rebecca Romaine, absolutely. And then what was it? Was it Sean Gunn?
X-Men 2, man. You could have had an X-Men 2 DVD or something, man.
And then there was Sean Gunn was there. Dude from Mike Bonds from Karate Kid, he was there. And then it was like what's it called? Mary Marvel from Shazam. She is absolutely gorgeous. She is so pretty.
But you know what I've learned about from Terrificon? San Diego, they just canceled in general because they didn't know what the celebrities didn't even know what the hell they could and couldn't do. So they can't promote at all anything. So I didn't even know all those people were at that convention because you know why? They couldn't promote it. They couldn't promote the convention, and they couldn't promote that they were going to be there. The convention could say their name and stuff, but they couldn't promote it. So like, and I don't even think the convention. I think they were they kept it like kind of low key because of the whole strike. So a lot of those people that you named, I didn't even know were there. The only person I knew about was Rebecca Romaine because I saw a picture somebody posted.
Yeah,
Besides, I didn't know about anybody else.
She was late with that. I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna send you the link, Blake.
Let me see.
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting seeing like
I want to see if I can find it right now. Let's see if they still have it. Yeah, so they had Jonathan Frakes, so Commander Riker from Star Trek, he was there.
Oh yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall was there, and what's it called? The dude that was Wyatt. Was it Wyatt? So Gary and Wyatt from Weird Science were there. And then you had was it Michael Bain? So the guy that was Hicks and Kyle Reese. So Hicks in Aliens and Kyle Reese in Terminator. And then if you know what's that movie? If you know Tombstone, he was Johnny Ringo.
No joke. All these years and I didn't knew he was freaking the same guy. Ha.
So you remember the guy from the original Flash show, John Wesley Shipp. He was there. Sean Patrick Flanery, he was there from.
So I got a question about Terrific kind of like because you were talking about you would love to go all 3 days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What I've been hearing, and you don't hear people talk about it much because I think people just budget for it and don't go to other conventions. What I was heard that is hotel is pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, it's
because especially if you're staying at the Mohegan,
Yeah, to stay there it's expensive. Like they have a code that they give where you can get a discounted rate, but it's I mean it's still pretty hefty, but I would say like it's definitely different. Like because when you look at it without the code, I think for that weekend, even if you're trying to plan it like let's say 2 months out, like it's like $800 a night. Like it's a lot of money. And then there's other hotels around there that you can stay at that are like a little further.
At what point do you think it might be better to get like a group of 4 dudes together and throw it on like an Airbnb for the weekend?
I don't know about an Airbnb, but I know that like little hack you can do is you go with a group of people and just like
bags on the floor and shit. That's what I would try to do.
You just go with a group of people and you sit there, all right, so yeah, we're all gonna hang out in this room and like you guys pay me, I'll put my name in and then we'll be fine. And like they're not, they don't really freak out or nothing like that. Like, they're pretty cool about that. Or you just, if you are, looking to do it and really not have any questions asked, you just get a suite. And if you get a suite, you get enough people to go where it's a couple $100 a guy, and they're just like, all right, like everybody kind of go up, hang out, do your thing, and then they don't bother nobody. They just
because I've often thought it would be cool to get like all the guys from the hunt to try
it'd be great.
As many as possible to try to go to like a convention, and then you got to try to think of like the financialities because not all of us have a lot of money, and like I would think like if we could rent like an Airbnb and everybody just stay there, and whoever you could figure out who got like the beds and shit. I'd take a sleeping bag, a couch, or a floor. You could get like 8 dudes up in there.
I think that. I mean, I would say like this, even if it was like a rotating thing where it's like, all right, so we'll do like something like that where it's like, all right, everybody meet in like one spot. So it's like, all right, we'll do, like 1 year be Dallas, 1 year be Heroes, another year be, I would say like if it was ever a year, like, oh, we need to do a Northeast one, we should definitely do Terrificon. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah,
I've heard Heroes, and speaking of Heroes, this guy wants everybody to do Heroes. He's on the hunt. Heroes. It's
where's
in the
Heroes?
Book. Heroes is in North Carolina. But that's a cross country for you, Jeffery. I don't, it actually cross country flights are actually cheaper than like.
If I can fly there, I'm okay. Like I don't.
Yeah, so that's why it's kind of funny. But to get this guy on, he wants everybody to go to Heroes. This is Mr. Bleeker.
Gentlemen, how are you?
What's up?
Good. Jeffrey,
yeah.
It's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute.
Bro. That's why we're kind of keeping them as long as we can. But like Dallas, I know Dallas is definitely. I know, like I said, me, Tone's gonna go.
Well, I'm going to one over in the States, I'm definitely going to one. I want to obviously go to one where I'm going to meet the majority of people that I hang out with online. So, Heroes seems to be the one that everyone went to this year.
But see, and that's the thing we gotta like Jeffrey was saying. It's like I know a lot of times people go pick like I'll go to Heroes this year, then let me go to this one because I think before COVID it was MegaCon, if I'm not mistaken. Jeffrey, like a lot of people went to MegaCon.
Yeah. The year before this was Baltimore, right? A lot of people went to the Baltimore con.
Well, I mean, it all depends on. So I think the guest list has something to do with that too. But I've heard really good things about like as far as everything. I know the guest list lineup for Heroes for the past like few years has been really, really good.
Yeah,
and then I've heard
the same thing for Dallas. The last few years for Dallas, guest list has been really good because this is the first year that actually Jim Lee didn't show up. They said normally Jim Lee's there, so if we would have added Jim Lee to the people the lineup they had at Dallas, oh my God, they're like it would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, you had a really good lineup in Dallas. I gotta say that. Some good people in Dallas.
And they had like a handful of people that you're never gonna meet because they don't go to any conventions, like Inhuck Lee, Art Germ. They go to New York, or they might go to San Diego, but that might be it.
I meet quite a few people
in Boston.
At the Niagara.
You get Boston one time.
I meet a bunch at the Niagara one, but there's also a bunch that don't come over because either they're too old to travel and they don't want to catch COVID, obviously, in the last few years, or they don't want to, the smoke, I think, stopped some people from traveling this year. There's a whole bunch of weird things that happen. So going over to the States for me would be awesome to meet some of these people that just don't come to Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I know with COVID for a little bit, David Finch had a little bit of trouble with that because, like, I guess he lives in Canada, so it's just like for him to come down and everything. Like the first, I think it was like 2021, and then I think a convention earlier in 2022, he was just like, I can't. It's just too much of a hassle for me.
It would have been impossible
because he was there. He was at Terrific Con this year. He was.
I'd say I talk about my convention. I talk about my convention because it's the lineup last year was like ridiculously good, but and nobody really showed up but on a Saturday, and I'm like, man, if like a lot of my friends would have came down for that convention, you could have got everything you wanted to get done that Friday, and Saturday and Sunday would have been just like we're just having fun, whatever we wanted to do, because literally nobody had lines on Friday, and I walked up to everybody you can think of, Bill Morris, Greg Land.
I do everybody Friday if I can. I really do. And once in a while, I'll skip a few and do them Saturday, but I try to get as many Fridays as.
Dude, they had so many. They had so many big, like I say big names, but they had so many good names. We say like the good or great names in the artist line.
Yeah,
that everybody couldn't fit there. So like Joe Rubenstein, he was like in another section. A few other people were like in another section. It was weird how like they had so many. Like I want to see. Hopefully the lineup is good again, and I'll let people know ahead of time. But like, man, like I said, I never met Mark Brooks. I never met Greg Land. Joe Rubenstein. That was actually the first time I met him. Then I saw him again in Dallas. But it's now that I know he charges like literally pennies for a sketch, I'm gonna get a sketch done in my sketchbook from him next time. So $25. Yeah. Give me a little sketch in my book. I'll give you $25, especially if I'll give you more if it's really good. But so like,
well, I said it in the chat earlier. I usually just get signatures. I've been in lines before, but man, waiting for fucking that asshole in front of you to get a sketch, or those two fucking assholes in front of you to get a sketch. You're like, this is an hour I'm waiting in line in front of two people just so I could say, hey man, thanks, appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
It happened with me with Clayton Crane. It was one person. He was getting a sketch done, and Clayton Crane, if anybody knows, he's like $500 a minute. Not 500 minutes, something $50 a minute. It's like something ridiculous. I think it's no, it's more than $50 a minute. It's like 5 minutes is $500. Some crazy. It's some
That's
crazy.
$100 a minute.
Yeah. It's like $100 a minute. So for $5, but you have to do a minimum of 5 minutes. So that's $500. A dude did it for 15 minutes. The sketch came out good, but that was $1,500, and I had to wait 15 minutes to get one book signed.
Yeah.
And at the end, Jesus, try doing it in front of somebody like Phil Ortiz, who does. They do 40-minute sketches, bro. You're waiting for two people for 40. Every now and then you can talk to the handler though and be like, "Hey, man, I just need a sketch. Can I jump in after these people so I don't have to wait for another 2 fucking sketches, please?"
Yeah.
And they usually
actually, it's so funny is they actually had 2 people ahead of me besides the one that was doing, but the guy who was getting the sketch done too, like he was getting one too, and I couldn't believe it when I heard the price. He said, "Oh man, you just getting the signature? Man, just go ahead because I'm actually getting the sketch done, and it's gonna be a few minutes. So if you're just getting that one book signed, go ahead." I said, "Oh, thank you." I think the CGC guy who's witnessing it thanks you too because he has to stand here with me while we're waiting for these damn sketches to get done just to get my one book signed.
I think Ryan Otley did a sketch for my buddy at New York Komikhan, and when he did it, he dropped it off on like Saturday, and then he picked it up. He picked it up on Sunday. It was like a flat fee of like $300 because he got color on it. It wasn't just black and white. But he's working. He's working on him during the fucking convention when he's got downtime, and I think he's working on him during the night after.
Yeah, they work a lot of time. They work on if you drop stuff off like that, they'll work on it at the hotel.
Yeah. And I mean, there's signatures, so signatures are moving quick. Like
Like if you go to people and you ask them, I mean, because that was what I did when I got a bunch of stuff done. I went right up to them. I was like, are you doing commissions? Because sometimes I'd be like, well, I had a commission list before the show, but it's closed now. I can't do any. Okay, fine. But like a lot of times I just walk up like yeah, can I get a commission from me? Is that a problem? And they'd be like, no, just let me know. And then so like I had the sketch cover, so I was like, yeah, I have a blank like could you do this? And they're like, yeah, no problem. So that's what I'm gonna do this Friday.
I've heard nightmares about that though, bro. I've heard more than one story about I dropped my sketchbook off with the artist and they didn't give it back to me and they had to mail it to me like a month later, or this happened or that happened.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
they didn't finish the sketch.
Well, it's not that.
I've never heard about that.
Like the thing that happened to me that kind of sucked.
That's why I'd be nervous of paying them ahead. That's why.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, I'm nervous about paying them ahead for that.
Like I gave it to what's it called, Ariel Diaz. I commissioned her for a sketch on the Friday, and I was like, how much is it gonna be? It'll be $150. So okay, cool. I said, like, do I have to pay you now or do I pay you at the end of it? She said, no, like pay now and I'll have it done by Sunday. Okay, fine. So Sunday rolls around. I knew she wasn't gonna have it. Just by the way she was wearing sunglasses. She had a coffee. She was like, I'm like, you out partying, bitch. You didn't even sit there and do my thing. So it's just like, whatever. So then I'm just sitting there. And so she's like, yeah, I'll definitely mail it to you. Don't worry about it. Okay, fine. It's been 2 years now. I haven't gotten shit. And I'm not going to get shit just because.
That's $150. And she didn't give you back your money, I bet, either.
Nope. But.
And what do you say? What do you do? Like, she stole your fucking money, bro. That bitch stole your money.
That's the thing. I just. Like at this point, I don't even want it. I'm more mad that I just don't have that Spawn 1 blank anymore. That's because I have somebody else.
Yeah, like I don't. That's why I kind of stay with sketchbooks because I'm getting my sketchbook before the end of the show.
Right.
Even if you did the work or not,
I'm getting my sketchbook back.
Yeah. And if you didn't do the work, I'm getting my money too. But I'm gonna get my sketchbook. That's why I'd rather drop off a sketchbook. A sketch like a blank, it's like, that's why I got into that. Then somebody else told me it's a good way to get competitions from the artists. They look at other people's work and they be like, oh, let me do that. I could do better than that.
Is what Bleak was saying. Whether it's just like, oh, like they don't, if they don't finish it, they won't give it back to you or whatever. And it's
like I said,
but if I have a blank sketch cover, it's just like, all right, like. Here you go. Like you can work on this on your own. I'll come back and get this from you. I'm not worried about my my book going missing. So
that's why I've had different, but I don't know. I usually my what I've done before, and I'm probably gonna continue. I didn't do it at Dallas because I was getting too many signatures. But my plan is to do again to get like at least 2 people to do sketches in my sketchbook at a convention.
Yeah.
The max would be 3, and it all depends on how fast the 2 people do.
Yeah.
But you can. I've done 3, but you can get. It depends on what you're getting done and the artist.
That's true. That turtles one that you have is really, really nice, but it's pretty simple as far
Very
as
simple.
a sketch goes.
I could actually show you. I'll get the book and show you that the ones I've gotten done on one day. I'll show you which ones, and you'd be like, "Oh, all right, yeah." Because I think it was the Turtles one, the one that's with Homer and Lisa, and the Wonder Woman were all done in a convention out of 2 days. 2-day convention because it was Saturday and Sunday.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it was a smaller convention, so they were like they pumped those. Well, the first 2 were easy. The other one was it took a little time, but. And then at another convention that was only to do 2 or whatever, so but it all depends on the person and how fast they work. I could have got 3 done at my last convention in New Orleans, but one dude held my book for like a day, so what's up, K-pop? And he didn't give it back to me till Sunday, so I didn't even want to get anybody else to do something. But I was able to get two done. But 2 is like I think the minimum I would love. But
usually I just buy their art, to be honest. I try like if they do sketch, like Ken Lashley will have a sketch cover there. He'll have a bunch of them, and it'll be like that's 100, that's 200, that's 150. I'll be like, all right, that's the one I want. So I just find that easier to do.
He's more expensive than he used to be. Well, I mean, when he came to New Orleans, I was like, how much? And he was like, how much you want to pay me? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, but signature he signs for free, no problem. The first 3 he'll sign for free, no problem. He gives you a joke about shipping on eBay, and then he lets you go. But but as far as his actual covers that he's got there, he charges a good buck for them.
Yeah,
I'm hoping
he did that about. Yeah, he did a sketch. He did a sketch for me. Well, for me, and he's like, "Yeah, I see my sketches on eBay, blah blah blah." And I'm thinking to myself, nobody's buying it. like people are listening for crazy price, but nobody's buying it. What you got?
This is so. I
love that.
This was a guy named John Delaney, but I want to see if I can get another nonstop Spider-Man just because there's a guy named Ken Wheaton that does a bunch of Simpsons art. So I'm gonna try to keep this theme going and be like, okay, I have a Spider-Man book and Spider-Man blank. Could you do another Sinister Six member? So I'm thinking either Doctor Octopus or Vulture. Because I really want to do Electro too, but I'm gonna test them out to see how much it would cost for him to do that. And then if it's not too much, then I'm gonna ask him to go ahead and maybe do 2. But we'll see.
Yeah. So but yeah, convention wise, we got what keep outside just woke up. But I guess we would all have to get together, kind of talk and coordinate. If we want to try to go conventions. I mean, because like I said, as long as you do it in advance, it's relatively cheap. Not cheap. Let's say it's
cheaper though. It's cheaper. The further in advance you do, for sure.
Yeah, especially me being like I'm from Canada. I don't know what the fuck's happening over there. It's nice to hang out with people that got your back and shit and fucking steer you in the right direction, so to speak.
Yeah, because I know hotels you can do well in advance for booking hotels.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing for like Airbnb. The flights you only can do 6 months in advance, which is still not bad because that mean at least like if you get it early in advance, it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And then it depends on where you're flying to is cheaper too because like I was saying, Dallas is relatively cheap especially if you're going Southwest. I don't know about North Carolina, Charlotte. I don't know about them, and I'm not sure about Terrificon area. Like for us FlyWise, I've never flown there, so I can't give my opinion.
So
I know Orlando's not bad either for MegaCon, and Chicago.
I know that Terrificon. I don't think you could fly. I'm pretty sure you can't fly into. I shouldn't say I'm pretty sure. I know you can't fly into where it's at. I mean, I don't know if Hartford has an international airport, but I do know that it would probably end up being either Hartford. Or, I mean, at worst case, Providence, I think they'd have to go to. So it'd be like somewhere around that area, and then you have to, find a way up from that point.
Yeah, so it'd be like an extra added cost. I know North Carolina, Charlotte is a major hub for North, for Heroes Con, and Dallas is a major. It actually has 2 airports. How big Dallas is. And they have their main airport. Then they have an airport just for Southwest flights.
Again, man.
Yeah.
If everybody wants to go to Vegas, I'll definitely do that.
Hey.
And then Vegas Con I've never been to, and I haven't heard anything about it since COVID. I know what's his name, Spider-Man booth guy used to always go, and I think a few other people I know used to go, but I haven't heard anything about it in the last couple of years. But not saying that it's not good.
Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's why you haven't heard about it, bud.
I can drive to Vegas. That's cool.
Right? Exactly. Jeffrey can drive to Vegas. We can meet Real Rude 6. I think he's around there too. A few good folks down that end.
Well, we
and it's Vegas. And it's Vegas.
I've been to Vegas. It's not too special. You're talking to somebody who lives outside of New Orleans. Vegas is just New Orleans with more casinos.
I gotta make some memories for Darker Side of the Hunt, bud.
Yeah. Hey.
Then you want to really make some. You really want to make some memories for Dark Side of Hunt. You go to Vegas, then you go to New Orleans, then you hit up both. You go to Bourbon Street, and you go to the Strip.
I'm gonna tell you something. Do not take me to Vegas. You will fucking lose me. I'll see you guys in a week. That's not pretty. It's not pretty. Don't take me.
Well, we won't lose you. I'll just look on a database. All right. Well, he's not in jail.
No, not in jail. We fucking not nowhere good as where I'll be. Nowhere good.
Be calling me like, yes, Madam Lee. Do you have a guy named Jason there, aka Bleecker Street?
Yeah.
No, he just left. He went to Sparkles next door. All right. We're on the way. If you see him, then hold him.
It's not gonna be good, man.
Oh my god! But yeah, we definitely got it. Probably that'd be like something to get together. And
it would be fun, man. It'd be awesome to meet everybody. It'd be cool to hang out.
It'd be like I think Jeffrey said it'd be like something to be good. You could do once a year.
Yeah,
I mean,
once a year.
We got to start with once before we get to the once a year. So
the once starts, then it starts the once a year. You know, you got to do the once thing. Yeah, I know the ones I'm going to next year. They're already booked. I'm going to New Orleans in January. I'm going to Dallas in June, and tentative maybe Heroes. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for me. So that's just what I'm going. Not people don't have to go to all 3 like I'm going, but if somebody be like, oh yeah, well, that's where I'll be.
Well, I'll go to mine here. I'll go to mine here, and then I'll go to one in the States, and wherever it is, whenever it is, man, I'm down. I'm definitely down. I will fuck it. It's a happening thing.
What's up, Guy Forge? Guy Forge in the house. What's going on?
Guy got some awesome books.
I saw he got some little deals, man, hustling them people. Guy looked like a hustler too. He hustled them people for them books. Man. He got
his Transformers book that got signed by Jiang. It was sick. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know, man. I'm seeing a lot of Jiang signatures these days. You guys all fucking hung out.
I sold one of mine, so I only have one left.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, Guy got some good stuff. And then he got actually George Deep gave him so George Deep is a local guy to New England, and he got the sketch from him. This Joe Fixit sketch. It's sick job that he got on that one.
CJ got a sketch from him, and I was like, yeah.
CJ spent some money, I have to say, at that convention compared to Heroes. He spent some money. And to Guy Forge, I know you have I think a son. I don't know if you have any other kids, but I know you have a son. Because I've seen pictures, but go see Ninja Turtles guy. Y'all will enjoy it. Y'all will enjoy it. It's no. What that rap song Chris might remember? What he said? I'm not a hustler. I'm a businessman because I do business, man. I forgot what it was. I think that's how it goes. Somebody, he's not a hustler, but I'm a businessman.
Sounds legit to me.
Yeah. John Jiang is freaking. He is like all like not all over the place, but he's like he has so much going on. Like he's cool.
Yeah, I can never find them, man. I haven't seen him. I've been looking. It's like Where's Waldo for me at conventions. I'm like,
there it is. There it is. He says, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman." But yeah, no. I talked about it. Me and my daughter did a review. Guy, those sea turtles. I think you and the fam will enjoy it. You and the fam will enjoy it.
She did a good job coloring that pizza box, actually.
Dude, it's like when I saw it, I had to take a look. I said, "Wait, that wasn't delivered like that."
That man,
Like,
she did a pretty good job, bro.
like she stayed in the lines and everything, man.
It looks like legit art. I thought it was like that's how the pizza box came.
No, none of this is. I want to say, yeah, she colored like everything is colored.
Yeah,
everything.
The fully only thing saturated, nice color choices.
Only thing that has a little color on it previously is the red at the bottom right here.
Hey man,
but on the top is you see the orange and the green. But she did that, but everything else is colored. She did all that. Did a great job. She colored the pizza even.
Hey.
That's a proud papa right there.
Yeah, I'm happy, man. That's good. We got to frame that.
I was thinking you should. It looked good.
Yeah, we can get in the frames from the Dollar Tree. Frame that. Well, y'all got anything else? He says my son's freaking out. They want to see it. Hey, dude, y'all gonna enjoy it. It's only an hour and a half too, so it's not like you're gonna be in the theater long.
Oh, trust me, it's not like
it does. Yeah.
Wait in the theater and be like, the movie gonna be over?
Yeah, it's not like that. She says it's not gonna be like when the movie's gonna be over. No, it's like you. And then Ice Cube is great as Superfly. Yeah, that's all I would say. He is great as. You fell asleep because you had a long day. She fell asleep. She didn't fall asleep because of the movie. She fell asleep just because she was been up since 8 o'clock that morning, and she had other events going on. So, but she woke up like I kind of like, oh, she was like, I didn't miss much. You did. But yeah, great movie. I don't know if y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about, man. We got to do the con scene. Oh, you know what I want to say? Books, real quick. Books that you're after. If y'all want to talk, y'all might not want to talk about because I know we're on a hunt, But it's not books that you have. It's not books that you have. It's books that you would love to acquire with maybe before the end of the year. The end of the year is literally here. We're 4 months. Then we have a new year. So, any books you guys are looking to try to obtain. Doesn't have to be super expensive, blah, 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 in the next 4 months before the end of the year.
I hope to get Silver Surfer 4 before the year's out.
Oh.
Regardless, I put that video out there about my top books, and that's definitely one that I'm like, trying to get just because I feel like once that gets any sort of movie announcement, any sort of movie, anything, it's over. So it's just like I want to get that before anything else happens. Hopefully, we'll see.
You need to talk to our little source, man, on IG. Send him a DM. He might can get you.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna stop the conversation on that part. What do you? What do you got? Y'all guys got anything?
Oh yeah. I got Ultimate Fallout 4 and Predator #1 is on top of my list. So Marvel Predator, the red orange cover where he's standing up there with his arms out.
Yep, I have that.
Yeah, I don't. Shut it.
Jeffrey, you got anything? I'm still thinking. That's why I'm asking you guys first.
He's like Hulk #1.
Well, almost. Not yet. I don't have like any major books that I'm looking for, but I'm looking for Incredible Hulk 128, 130, and 139, and I could easily go buy them right now on eBay, but those are the last 3 books that I need in my Incredible Hulk run, so I'm kind of like trying to find them in the wild. I'm completing my run. I really want to I wanted to feel some joy, like when I complete, instead of just going on eBay and pushing some buttons and buying it.
I did that with my TMNT run.
Yeah, and then after that, it's just kind of, I think I'm just kind of like saving money to get a couple of those first issues, like 2, 4, and 5, and then I pretty much have the whole run. So that's about it.
Yeah.
Good books.
Myself, I don't know if I'm gonna get them in the next 4 months. It all depends on how much books I sell because I have like
Yeah,
20.
that's
I have like
yeah,
20
it
still have
does.
them want to sell. Um, but I want to get the Turtles Mania #1, the original one, not the reprint. It could be 9.6 or 9.8, preferably 9.8. But I want to get that. It's very hard to find because, and if I shouldn't say it's hard to find. It might be on eBay, but you're gonna pay eBay prices. So I could probably get it once I have the money ready for it from Elite Comics 11 because they're doing a new program where you put books that you're looking for if you have the money, and they'll find it for you. They'll post it even on they'll post it on their IG, which they did for somebody. They're doing it for somebody right now. The guy's looking for a Green Lantern 87 and a 9.8. So they'll and they've been successful finding it as long as you're ready to pay for it when they find it. So that's the one of the books I would love to get before the end of the year. They'll kind of like not complete my TMNT Volume 1 stuff, but it'd be like one of the harder ones besides that #3 variant. So I want that. I want the Turtles Mania book, and as far as books that I collect from my daughter, I do want to get the first Talia al Ghul. I want to get I think it's Detective Comics 411. But I'm looking for a specific grade for her books because I've been keeping a lot of her books. Like unless it's like Golden or Silver Age, which that book is not Silver Age. I think it's Bronze. I'm trying to get an 8.5 to a 9.0. 8.5 raw, 9.0 graded. Not impossible, but not cheap. So and it's not. I'm not saying it's cheap, like it's 5,000, but you're talking about like over $1,000. But that's like 2 books I would love to, but they're not. I think it's going to end up rolling over. I think it's going to end up rolling over. But I would love.
Well, I'm starting to look at some books I have for trading and selling to get these books. So it's starting to be. I'm starting to think that these are differently about my collecting habits. So.
Yeah, I've been doing the same, Blake. I ain't gonna lie. I've been doing the same. The only thing I haven't gone full out and put that out there is because I'd rather do that at a con or in person. They say in person. I mean, not say at a con, but in person.
Yeah.
Unless I really know the people, as far as like trading wise, like we've done business before. They bought, sent me money. You know what I mean? So if it's something like that, that's different. But I haven't gone out and done the same, but I'm really thinking about it myself because there's books I would love to trade and get other books I really want. Since I'm having a hard time selling those. But
well, yeah, some books are really hard to sell just sheerly for the price of them.
Yeah, well, I know because I have one of that Batman 232. At the grade I have it at, it's going to be hard to sell.
Isn't it like a 9 something? It's astronomical.
9.6. 9.6.
It's fucking stupid.
9.6. It'd have been even stupid if Dustin would have got a 9.8 for me because
Batman doesn't get 9. Those early Batmans, they're not 9.6s, man. That's fucking insane.
And I think that's actually Silver Age, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, probably, and that's insane.
Like so, yeah. So that's what I'm probably going to be looking at as well for trading. But that's my couple of books, man. Go down the line, man. Bleeker, what you got going on, man? This is pretty much the end of the show.
We'll be doing church on Sunday. Flea market, always selling stuff. If you ever see anything that you like, man, you can check out whatever we do. Most of my shit's for sale, you've seen my sales. Still got a lot of that stuff. Got a lot of slabs for sale. Could use some money making these days. So give us a look on IG. Give us a look when we're on Sunday at the church. What else am I doing? I think I might be going on Biggie's show this Friday, and then the hunt for sure. I will be facing Cali Comics, Bleak versus Cali for a belt. So let's get there.
And it's a belt you never won before too. Huh?
That's right. We're after the cover championship. We're going after the gambit this year, boys. So
Gambit got it right here.
That's the thing.
That's a cameo. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
Segue right into Gambit.
That's a cameo. No, just mess around. So Jeffrey, man, the guests, man, whatever you, Jeffrey, if you're off on the Wednesdays and you want to join, just let us know, man. But
Sounds good. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Appreciate it.
man, you got anything going on? And
Besides
hanging with us.
So last night, I sat down and I watched Akira.
Ooh, Akira.
Great movie. Great, awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Other than that, just been working. My schedule fluctuates every week. I work different hours and different days, so you haven't seen me around. It's because I'm not, unfortunately. Work nights most of the time, but I miss you guys, miss being on the hunt, and I'm, as soon as I get a chance to be back, I will.
Nice. Well, congratulations on the new job, though.
So. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It makes a difference in the mentality of your life. That's
yeah, man.
Yeah. That's gotta have that. Oh man, what to say? I started watching the new Futurama. That's all I'll say on that.
Futurama, you say?
Yep, Futurama dropped new episodes.
Fuck off. Are you kidding me?
I'm serious. I'm
so down, bro. I'm so down.
I forgot to mention that. They dropped the new episodes, and my daughter called me watching it, and she goes, "Ooh, you watching something that Mommy said we can't watch?" And I said, "No, you can't watch." So it was kind of fun. But yeah, I watched the first episode.
Twisted Metal's been pretty good. If you guys haven't watched Twisted Metal,
I haven't watched that one yet. But
it's good, man. I think I'm 5
episodes. Is it on Paramount?
But I don't mind
so much to watch, Bleak. I'm trying to finish Jack Ryan. I'm on the last episode of Jack Ryan. Okay. I started Futurama.
I'm definitely down for that, man.
So it's I think once I complete those two, I could jump on Twisted Metal. And then I have actually Witcher. I'm trying to finish. I'm still trying to finish that. So it's like
I couldn't get in. You know what, man? I love shit like Witcher a lot. I don't know why I can't watch Witcher. I can't. It's not. I don't know what it is. I just can't get
you
into
watch
it.
Any of them? It's just the new season you're talking about.
No, I haven't been able to watch it since season 1, man. I just been like.
I could tell you like this. I watched season 1 and season 2. I didn't understand season 1 at all, and I was like, what's going on? It didn't make any sense. But I watched season 2. To me, it was way better. I was like, all right, I like it now. I was like, this is good. And then so it got me on to watching season 3. But if I would have just went off of season 1, I probably wouldn't have watched season 2.
Maybe it's because I was like such a Game of Thrones fan. I just like,
yeah, it's a little bit, but the fight scenes are good. I like Henry Cavill, so yeah.
Witcher reminds me of watching a modern day like Hercules or Xena. That's what Witcher reminds me of watching.
But better.
Well, yeah, because it's more new, so there's better graphics. But they're like not quite awesome, but they're okay.
Yeah,
they're pretty good.
But they're very much better. But Chris, what you got going on, man? You got anything going on besides beating up on the hunt?
This Friday or this weekend is Boston Fan Expo, which I have to say I'm going to just because it's local. As far as the guest list, it's not really that great. The Fan Expo really drops the ball when it comes to the Boston show, which is unfortunate because they have a huge space for it. There's a ton of great there's a ton of great like space that they can use. There's a lot of good people they could have come, but they just don't. So I'm just kind of going and just going there basically just to hang out there and might get a sketch or two, and that's probably going to be it. So, but I will be there all weekend. Just kind of hanging out and just seeing if there's any good books to find or just sketches that I can get for decent money or whatever. But other than that, just kind of chilling.
You know what you should do, Chris? You should maybe take some videos.
I I mean, I could take video of the place and make it. This is what it looks like, and this is our list of guests and everything, and
Yeah, I see you in everybody else's video. Why not make your own?
I'm easily able to spot. That's why so you can find me easily. But
I remember the first time you walked by in a Journey video. I was like, "That's fucking Boston." That's Boston.
Oh, that was at Komikhan. I didn't even know he was there. That's before I knew what Journey looked like. So I was
he
like,
didn't know it was you
kinda...
either. We all recognized you. That's fucking Boston's shoulder.
I remember that when he walked. He's like, "What? That was." He's like, "Yeah, that was Chris. You didn't know that was him."
Let's see. I'm looking at guys' comments. You guys have an opinion on how graphics seem to have gotten worse, like special effects?
Well, I could tell you a little about on the money side. Chris knows probably more about the graphic side, but graphics have gotten worse because of how they pay people to do the for movies. It's like a paid for hire type of job, and it's a bidding war. So, say I have a movie and I need special effects, and Chris, Jeffrey, and Bleeker all have their own separate companies. I'm going to put the job out. They're going to bid against themselves to get my job.
I'll do it for $3 right now.
I got dollars.
Yeah, but look, you're joking. That's how the company that made what's the damn movie with the tiger in the water? Oh my god!
Oh yeah, Pi.
Life of Pi.
Life of Pi. That's how the company for Life of Pi went out of business. They outbidded everybody and took less money, and it cost them more to do that movie. They won all of these awards, but guess what? They're not in business anymore because that's how the bidding process goes for the movie. For that,
yeah,
so
that's too. I don't know. And they're also, I think they're phoning it in these days. Like they use a gray background now. They're doing less. I don't know. They're sort of phoning it in. They're getting so good at it that they don't give a shit about it anymore. They're just using the cheapest method.
Well, but like I said, they also learn from the Life of Pi. They don't want to give you best of the best. And guess what? Now we're bankrupt because I took this job for $100 million, but it cost me $200 million.
But that's the thing. You can go back in other movies and just go, wow, those graphics were amazing. What about the one with the boat? We got Marky Mark.
The Perfect Storm.
Yeah, the water in that, the storm in that. Yeah. That's all CGI.
I think the other thing too that you have is a lot of people, when it comes to working for those type of studios and how that goes, it's not just one that does it. Like if you ever look in the credits, there's a bunch of different studios that will be working on different things because you have, it's almost gotten so big that you can't just have one in-house thing do it. You have to have a lot of different ones. And then within that, sometimes you have struggles where it's just like, they're basically doing what they call crunch, where it's just like, just working 16-hour days, like just working on just this one thing, trying to get it all rendered out, and you're doing that for however many months in a row. So people get burned out, and then they have to pass it off to another studio. And I think sometimes when that happens, the studio that they pass it off to, depending on where they left off, if they're giving it to a different studio because they won the bidding war, but maybe they weren't as advanced as the other one, that's where you have a lot of that, the trouble happen just because they have to try to figure out ways to work around what they can't actually physically produce on their computers. But then, another thing too, and I'll say it like where it's just like, I think that in a lot of ways too, I think that they almost think that you might not notice. Just like who's gonna say, when you have all these other good things, like who's gonna notice the one 30-second scene where it's just awful, like in The Flash when he's going back in time. The CGI for that was terrible. And they knew it was terrible, and like, no, well, we're just trying. And the excuse they gave was, well, we're trying to see it because he moves so fast. We're trying to see it how he would see it. So it's not going to be perfect just because he's flying through things and it's going to be a little blurry. It's like, no, like if you're going to sit there and do this thing and you're going to put all this money behind it, you need to make it quality all the way through, or just scale back certain things.
She-Hulk did the same thing. She-Hulk immediately. The fans went, "What the fuck was that?" Oh,
And
sorry.
they fixed it. No, she can't hear you.
Okay.
But no, they fixed a lot of stuff with She-Hulk because of the fans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Fixed that
Sonic.
right away.
Same thing with Sonic and a few other stuff.
Yeah, like that
but,
first Sonic trailer, they destroyed Sonic for that trailer. There was like, what the hell? And then they went back and like, all right, so because they're like, that's not what Sonic looks like. They're like, all right, like let's go back, let's make it better. So I think that the sad part about that is that I think they use trailers and things like that as their kind of like their focus group. But there's like, well, when you get to that point where you're putting out a trailer, like the movie's kind of close to being done. Like you're just touching things up to get things ready for when it goes out to production. So I think you know, a lot of times that they're cutting costs where they can, and then trying to, you know, do reshoots or focus on fixing things at the last second, which is why some things don't look as polished as they used to.
All right, so I'm gonna say my little last what I got going on, because Guy's gonna open up a can of worms. We're gonna be talking for another hour. But what I got going on, I'm not sure if I'll be on Friday with Biggie. It all depends on my schedule. I try to keep one Friday free because we do the hunt. But I'll try my best. But I'll at least be, you know, pop in and chat. So check that out. But definitely Sunday church with Bleeker. I usually always try to pop on unless I'm out of town.
The good Reverend.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good. I'll be there. So definitely check that out. Sands Group auction on Sundays. The last thing I want to promote is it's I want to play the video, but it's not going. It's not. This is not the video for it. But I'll be doing stuff with these guys. August 11th is Friday, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, August 11th.
Next Saturday, not this Saturday.
2 weeks from
Friday.
After, right?
Let's see.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you.
What are we on right now? The second. So
The second.
You know, couple weeks.
It's not this Friday, but next Friday.
Yeah, August 11th. August 11th at 11 Eastern. I'll be with these guys here. Stopping it because that's not the date. It's going to be August 11th through the 13th. They're doing a virtual convention mainly with collectors, like we usually do collector set show. They haven't made it official on their Instagram, but I'm going to start promoting it here early on YouTube to get the word out. But I'll be on there August 11th. You're going to see a lot of books from me, a lot of big books from me. So a good mixture of affordable and big name books like that Batman 232. I'll be there. And also, me and my daughter dropped a movie review for Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And we talk about it. We review it. She talks about what she thought. And we're asking the community to check it out and let us know if you guys want us to do more, correct? You can talk.
Yeah.
All right. So you do more reviews of movies that we see together. It's a cool idea, something that you can get my perspective and her perspective of somebody her age or what they thought when they saw the movie. So that's what we're thinking of what we're going to be doing. And it might not always be live, but we're going to try to do it, for movies we see. So if you guys like that, please let us know.
Yeah, I want to see you guys look for Bowser.
Oh yeah, we got to look for Bowser. He said he wants to see us look for Bowser. So we gotta get some cookies for that.
We do have a low match.
Yeah, but no, we gotta get a fresh box.
All right.
So we'll get a fresh box of cookies to look for Bowser, because I don't think the box we had actually even had one in there. But so we gotta look for Bowser, and then we gotta make a tower. You remember, like they made the tower?
Yeah, tower on the milk.
On the milk.
But we had to wash our sharks.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that. So we're definitely gonna do that. More reviews. Anything else we're doing? That's it. Subscribe. What else? Thumbs up.
Ring that bell, baby.
Her mom was in the background saying, "Get ready for school."
Already? Not
Yeah.
a summer break anymore?
Yeah, they go back August 9th. Yeah.
Move to Canada. We don't go back till like September. You'll be fine.
Yeah. It is what it is. So, well, we appreciate you, everybody, checking out graphic content. Thank you again, Jeffrey, for joining us. Thank you, Bleak, for jumping on in. Since you were in the chat anyway, just come on in there. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I will hit the end button. So appreciate Guy Forge. Who else was in the chat? Guy Forge, K-pop.
K-pop's my homie, man.
Mastodon, who already left. Appreciate you guys. Nick was in here talking smack, getting ready for the
Lady Fantastic, Chicago, Schultze.
Yeah, so appreciate it. And anybody else who watches it on Rewind, if the guy if the cookie shop is still going with their wine and cheese, go check them out. But see you guys on the next show. 2 more weeks.
Peace, bro.
Peace.